Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Kevin Chow, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how I managed to get a full ride scholarship to medical school. Make sure to watch the whole thing, as you will likely pick up some tips and tricks to maximize your chances at getting into the school of your dreams and snagging a great scholarship. I want to start by saying that it's important to keep in mind that scholarships are not handed out at random, and that there are scholarship selection committees that will review your candidacy. These committees receive hundreds of applications for relatively few coveted scholarships. When I applied to medical school, I was in no way expecting to get any scholarship, let alone a full ride that covered tuition and living expenses. But looking back, and also having been on the other side of admissions, I can see the key parts of my application and the strategies that I adopted that helped me to stand out and get such an amazing scholarship. Here are my 4 essential strategies to help you stand out from the crowd and secure that dream scholarship for yourself. At a baseline, it helps to be a competitive applicant for medical school. That doesn't mean that you need to have a perfect GPA or perfect MCAT, but certainly the higher the better. If your GPA or MCAT are less than ideal, don't worry, all hope is not lost, and I know plenty of people who scored great scholarships, even full rides, without stellar stats. On the other hand, a good GPA and MCAT alone are not enough to get you a scholarship. The key is to know what makes you unique. Ask yourself, what are you good at? What do you bring to the table? And what makes you different from the other people that you know that are applying? Maybe you have played a sport for many years, or you are into art and have a small portfolio. Perhaps you're a dancer who goes to local competitions. Maybe you moved around a lot as a kid. It can be anything. Your goal is simply to make yourself memorable. It means so much more to be that guy who enjoys beekeeping than that guy with a good GPA. In fact, behind the scenes, we frequently refer to applicants just that way. For me, I enjoyed sailing, played tennis, and moved around a lot as a kid. These interesting points came up way more often than any of my academics during my interviews. I know many of you will think to yourself, I don't have a unique quality, but I assure you that this is not true. If you are having trouble coming up with ideas, you should ask your friends and family for inspiration. This is an extremely common mistake that people make in putting together the medical school application. Medical schools and admissions committees don't care so much what you did, but why. Your goal should be not to just focus in on what you literally did as part of an activity, but rather what that activity says about you as a person and why you did it. For example, if you worked with the homeless, I could write about how every week I drove to Hollywood to work with the homeless. I set up a clinic on the street. We handed out medical supplies, including medications, bandages, hygiene kits. On certain days, I also handed out food from a food truck. And on and on. It's much more meaningful to talk about why you did it and how it changed you. Working with the homeless in Hollywood raised my awareness of the health disparities due to income inequality. Too often, they lacked basic supplies such as bandages for their wounds or even simple personal hygiene supplies like toothbrushes. This experience motivated me to serve the less fortunate in our society. Do you see how this gets across some of the same points, but shows so much more about you, the person who did the activity, than just the activity itself? It's okay to spend a little bit of the description on the activity, but do not waste your application reviewer's attention about the nitty-gritty details of what you did. This will be an important mindset to adopt while you are building your entire application and will definitely help you stand out from the crowd that also happened to do the same activity. As some of you may know, medical school applications are on a rolling basis. What this means is that the earlier you apply, the better the chances you have at getting in because spots are filling up as the year goes on. Even if you are an amazing applicant, if you apply too late, all of the interview offers and acceptance slots may have gone out and you'll be left with nothing. This is true for scholarships as well. Because the scholarships are limited and schools use them to try and encourage you to pick them, they will often hand them out earlier rather than later so they can lock down your decision. This is why it is so important for you to be on your game and have your application and essays ready to go early in the process. If you get accepted to multiple medical schools and get a financial aid or scholarship offer from one but not another, you can try bargaining. This means reaching out to the school that did not give you the scholarship and mentioning that you would love to go to their school, but another school is offering you X amount of money and is an offer that would make it more financially feasible for you to go there instead. Is there any way that they could provide some scholarship to ease your financial burden so you could choose their school instead? Sometimes people are reluctant to use this strategy, but honestly, you have nothing to lose. A medical school is not going to take away your acceptance just because you asked for some financial incentive. I personally did not use the bargaining technique. However, I do know people who negotiated successfully and were able to get a larger scholarship offer. Hopefully you learned something useful from this video. And if you did, please let me know by liking the video, commenting below, and subscribing if you haven't done so already. Let me know what you would like to learn more about in the next video. The MCAT exam, the best pre-med major to choose in college, how to crush the medical school interview. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.